Okay, so yeah, I'm back. I just uploaded that video, the first one I made. It's just me talking about random things. And I said towards the end of the video that hold on, let me just put my headphones on. Okay. That I just said that by the end of the video I would make another commentary video on the same day about something more specific, and that is how I started cubecraft. Well, I can tell you so much, but it would take forever for me to finish because a lot of things happened in my experience in the server. So, yeah, nevertheless, um, how I started cubecraft. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, I actually started in 20. What's it? It's an interesting debate to myself whether or not I started in 2019 or 2020. Well, let's just say I first played the server in 2019. I was just a very casual player slash non back then. I had no idea how to play. I was just trolling. That's what I did. So I don't really, but I'm not gonna count that because I wasn't really into the server. But yeah, just for some insight, I actually started playing. Like I first hopped in the server in the summer of 2019 on my old Android tablet. So that was one. That's something. That's one thing. Another thing is that um when I actually joined, when I actually dedicated myself to the server, to the community, that was in 2020. So I'm not too much of an OG, if you know what I mean. I'm not OG. I mean, a lot of people call me an OG these days. Well, it's been a while now, so I would understand, but I wouldn't really consider myself the one of the OGs because um still a lot of things happened before I started. But nevertheless, let's just talk about the era of cubecraft of when I actually started. So yeah, Uh, let's building off from my last video. I'm gonna die here. I don't know why I actually suck right now, but so building off from the last video. Um, I started in the spring of 2020, April 2020, somewhere there, because my friends would play a lot. My IRL friends, not my online friends, but my friends from high school. They would play CubeCraft all the time, so I wanted to join them. I wanted to feel part, feel a part of them. So you know what? Yeah, I gave it a shot a few times, many times, and you know what? I actually had a lot of fun playing CubeCraft with my friends on mobile. I repeat, on mobile. I wasn't playing on controller back then. I was just playing on my iPad or iPhone, and that phone, by the way, I lost that phone. So, but we're not gonna talk much about my how I lost my phone. That's private. But yeah, that's how I started CubeCraft. Just through word of mouth, I guess. Um, and around that same time, we were playing on like what I said in the last video. We were playing on my world actually, not a realm, but on my world. So basically, I have to be online for them to play on my world. It wasn't a realm. Again, I repeat. So, but yeah, we were playing that at the same time. So we weren't playing a lot of CubeCraft that much. It was more about the world. We would play CubeCraft like just like what once or twice a week because we would, you know, we don't want to play the world all the time. We want to change things up. So yeah, that's a little bit about behind the scenes of what it was before I actually started playing a lot of cubecraft. So yeah, oh god. Fast forward 2 months later. Fast forward 2 months later. My friends got in, well, not in a, my friends got in a fight. Well, not a physical fight, but an argument because we were having disagreements on about the realm that we just started. Yeah, we got sick of my own my world because it's somehow I accidentally changed it so that we wouldn't earn any achievements anymore. So yeah, and and to this day I still don't know how I did it. How I changed the permissions. It could be anybody else. It could be any of my friends, but I don't want to play the blame game anymore because first up, that world was mine anyway, so it was my responsibility somehow. So yeah, my friends and I, we got in a disagreement to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm quitting. I'm not playing survival anymore. I'm gonna play something else. And so yeah, that something else turned out to be cubecraft. I wanted to, because I was so tired of the toxicity that was surrounding me and my friends. But again, we were only so young back then. We were only like 13, 14 years old, so we didn't know shit. But yeah, that we got in a disagreement just because of a block game, which in retrospect is a very insane reason. It's a very lame reason as to why you would guys get in an argument. But yeah, those were the fun days. Anyway, so I started playing CubeCraft, like playing a lot of CubeCraft in June of 2020. And that, by the way, that was before I actually joined the community, before I considered myself part of the CubeCraft community. So yeah, so basically I was just playing, I think Egg Wars solos, Skywars solos. It was just basically me. I was all alone. I didn't know, I had no one to play with. Maybe I would play with some random person I met on in the lobbies, like every so often, but I thought that I would like to settle in this server because I actually like this server. This server is actually like pretty fire. I like the server. And so you know what? I decided to settle myself. I wanted to somehow, you know, feel belonged. And how I actually feel belonged in this server, basically what I mean is that how I actually consider myself, sorry, how I actually like joined this community is that I was just simply curious. I was wondering why Egg Wars lobby number 1 had the most people in it. So I was looking into this list of lobbies, and there was Egg Wars lobby 1, which by the way had the most people. And so I wondered why. Why would Egg Wars lobby 1 had the most people? Because simply is it because it's the number 1 lobby? I don't know. I was just curious. And so you know what, I wanted to find out why it was the most popular lobby of all the lobbies. So yeah, I clicked on that lobby's item, which I think was a poppy. No, the poppy was loot. Nether star was, I think, the menu, like the social menu. I don't remember what the lobbies were. I think it was a piece of paper. I don't know. But yeah, it was the old GUI. Like, basically, the lobbies weren't all this like the towers. Like I'll show you after this game. But yeah, I've like a very vague memory of what the GUI looked like. But I know for a fact that the poppy was loot, and the nether star was the social menu. Oh, sorry, I remember now. I think it was the track or the compass that was the. Oh god, I'm actually like, okay, what the hell? What the hell is this? That's interesting. How am I supposed to kill you then? Yeah. I'm gonna focus first. I'm actually like. Anyway, I'll show you now. So, loot was not a paint palette or whatever you call it, like a watercolor paint thingy. It was a poppy. The social menu was not a chat balloon. It was another star. And the lobbies was not. The lobbies weren't the towers. Not those towers, but like the skyscrapers, like you can see. It was, I think, a compass or a tracker. I can't remember honestly, but yeah, the GUI was different. And so I just realized that I went a bit off topic there, but it's going to be part of it somehow. So yeah, I joined Egg Wars Lobby 1, and all I found was people with colored names, fancy trails, and pets. And so I thought, oh, these people are cool, so that's why Egg Wars Lobby 1 is what it is. It's because it was the lobby for VIP people. And so I wanted to be part of them. I wanted to be that cool guy too. So yeah, that's how I basically engaged myself to the community at large. Specifically the Egg Wars community of cubecraft. I wasn't really aware of what's going on outside Egg Wars, like Sky Wars, like Game Night, Ambient, Lima, XP1, Gosdog 911. I didn't know who those were because they were Sky Wars players. I only started getting to know them when, you know, I started watching more YouTube videos about cubecraft YouTubers. But anyway, Egg Wars, the Egg Wars community, that was basically my whole world back then. And I say that because again it was COVID, and basically people are feeling alone during COVID. It's not just me. I'm pretty sure of that. And so people wanted to play a lot. No, sorry. And so people wanted to feel belonged while being in lockdown. And so you know what? The only thing you could do that is by joining an online community. So, oh jeez. Okay, I'm gonna leave you. Oh, I gotta lock in for a second here. So yeah, but anyway, enough of that. That's how I joined the community. I was just curious. Egg Wars Lobby 1. That's how I joined. And so for the next few days, few weeks, few months, I just kept playing Egg Wars because I just realized something, that a lot of these VIP people, those with colored usernames, trails, pets, a lot of them were leaderboard players. And so I wanted to be a leaderboard player too, because I have nothing else to do at home. Like, literally nothing else. Because again, it was COVID, and I wasn't allowed to go outside. Because you could get sick if you go outside. So yeah, that's a little bit about how I joined. And so I dedicated myself into joining into becoming a leaderboard player. Egg Wars Teams of 4, because that was the most popular Egg Wars game mode back then. Although Egg Wars Teams of 2 was pretty popular too, I can't deny that, but Egg Wars Teams of 4 was just easier to get into because, you know, a lot of people played it. But at the same time, it was kind of intensive because you need 4 people to play instead of just 2. So kind of think of what to say. So yeah, that's a little bit about my adventure. And knockback sword. I hate that. Hold on. So yeah, so first day of my journey to the Egg Wars Teams of 4 leaderboard, I met this guy named Torta. Torta. Torta, like the Mexican word. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means, but torta. Um, and you might know who he is. You might not, but he's basically like he's the reason why I'm who I am right now. Because he was one of my first few friends who joined me in my journey to the Egg Wars leaderboards. I wasn't even focused on playing in like getting in the leaderboards. I was just focused on making friends and just engaging myself with the online community. That's full of strangers that I don't even know, but yeah. So I'm dead. So yeah, I met this guy named Torta, and I thought it was a cool guy. He knew how to jump bridge. And that's what actually mesmerized me, is that people knew how to jump bridge. I thought I was hacking at first. But, you know, it's actually, like, very important. It's actually, like, a very standard, very fundamental skill that you must learn. Jump bridging. And speaking of jump bridging, you could get accusated for jump bridging back then. Because no one knew what it was, or how to do it. Because I guess basically the community wasn't that competitive back then. But yeah, that's a little bit of what I remember when I started, is that you could possibly get accusated just for knowing how to jump bridge. And I thought that was funny. I still remember, like, in the chat, people would say hacker when they see someone or me jump bridging. And by the way, I didn't know how to jump bridge when I started because I was a mobile player playing on a shitty iPad or Android tablet. I only started playing controller like a month later after I started. So that was August when I actually started controller. I could only tell you so much, but I could go on and on and on. Like who my friends were, how I met this person, how I met that person. I could only go so much, but I don't have time for that, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to move on. So to summarize, June 2020, I started playing a lot of cubecraft. July 2020, I joined the community. Played a lot of Egg Wars Teams of 4, Egg Wars Teams of 2, still figuring out what leaderboards I want to get into because I wanted to be the cool guy, you know, one of the cool guys who are in the leaderboards. And August 2020, that's when I switched to controller. That's when I wanna get my shit real and you know, start playing better. So that's a little bit of what I remember. And also the bridge thing, where you could get accusated just for knowing how to jump bridge. So that's a little bit about how I started. I've said it too many times, but I'm gonna say it again. That's a little bit about how I started. So that was like what, around 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago. Yeah, I guess so. And basically the server was very simple. That's another thing I want to talk about. It was very simple. People were actually really chill. People were less competitive. People were more casual. People were more, I don't know. People were nice. People were really nice. That's why I decided to settle in this online community, because people were actually really nice. So, and I don't know why I'm at mid right now. Like, I usually don't go at mid like when there's like 7 players left, but whatever. I'm just gonna go on with it. So, yeah, people were chill. That's what I remember. That's what I remember for sure. The people were friendly. People would want to make friends with you if you're good, even if you're not that good. They'd still help you out in the leader in your journey to the leaderboards, whatever you call it. But yeah, I mean, there was still toxicity, of course, and hackers, and hackers were a huge part of 2020 cubecraft, and hackers flew like hackers were interesting. All I can remember is that there were a lot of fly hackers back then. They might not necessarily know how to PvP, they just knew how to fly, and I thought that was funny too. So, yeah. And another thing I've mentioned in my last video is that the knockback, of course, the knockback was different. It's like the knockback before 2021. It was different. It's not the knockback that we have now. The knockback was rather really weird and really like, it was very, very old school knockback basically. Like you can't make air combos out of people. You can't make these like highlight reel 360s like you can do now, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. The knockback before 2021, let's just call it the old knockback because that's what a lot of people call it. Is that, yeah, it was not skill based. And you know what? I agree. It was not that skill based. I mean, it still forced you to learn how to strafe somehow. It was a very strafe heavy knockback, I should say. So, yeah. Um, and I still remember that, like, in the cubecraft forums, is that people were like, I'm gonna die here. Anyway, so should be more aware next time. Whatever. Uh, yeah. It was the old knockback. You weren't able to combo with it. And that's a huge part of why it sucked. And crits too. That was a huge part. The crit system was pretty rigged. I didn't like it. I didn't like the knockback, honestly. The old knockback, but you know, I've had fun memories with it. And I started cubecraft. I started playing cubecraft with the old knockback, so it somehow holds a dear place in my heart. Well, it still somehow holds a dear place in my heart because that's how I started. That's what I basically started with. And you might notice until this day I still PvP, like, you know, there's like some old knockback fundamentals like strafing. Yeah, I tend to emphasize strafing in my PvP. This is that, which is kind of why I strafe more than I think. I don't know. But yeah, I strafe way too much. Because that was basically the old that's basically what the old knockback wanted you to do, is that you should strafe. You should strafe. So I'm getting double teamed here. I'm gonna die here. Hold on. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm a bit tired. I can't play that well. I'm a bit tired, so yeah. I think I've spoken for way too much about what it was when I started. I could only tell you so much, like my experiences in 2021 when a new knockback came out. I might skip a lot of stuff too, because you know there's not a lot of important stuff that I'm not gonna tell you everything because I don't have time for it. I could, but it's gonna take an hour or two to go month by month on what my life was in cubecraft. So yeah, so fast forward to 2021. That was when the new knockback was implemented and released throughout the server. And you know what? People were happy. People were so happy. I was so happy that the new knockback was there. It's finally there. It's time for cubecraft to, you know, to stand their ground against Hive players. And yeah. And basically 2021 was something else. It was something else. I can't emphasize it enough. It was something else. A lot of events happened in 2021. I gotta say that. So like what happened in 2021? So the new knockback. That's the very first thing that happened. It was developed, and it was developed like late through 2020. They released a beta version of it, and then a month later, after a popular vote, the staff have decided, you know what, let's let's uh let's implement this new knockback once and for all, permanently, I should say, in the server, because I know a lot of people like it. So sorry, I was locked in for a bit. So yeah, and then a few months later, if he's, you might know him, you might not, but chances are you will know him. Is that Lights Chips or Light Chips or however you pronounce it? I'm just gonna call him Lights. So Lights was he started this clan versus clan like concept in cubecraft called Circuit. And you know what? If you're an OG, it might actually ring a bell, because Circuit was the biggest thing that happened in 2021, I believe. I mean, that's just my opinion, but yeah, that was the biggest thing that happened in cubecraft so far. So if you don't know what Circuit was, it was a clan versus clan like league made by Lights Chips and Chief Aaron, FB Salty Raccoon. You might also know him too. Oh, come on, stop throwing. Anyway. So yeah, Circuit. It was a clan v clan Egg Wars Mega tournament where, yeah, you just play Egg Wars Mega against the other clans. And if you win, you know what? You get points. Well, I don't know how the system worked. I'm kidding. So yeah, that's how it started, and it basically became a phenomenon in 2021. This clan versus clan or scrim concept. So that's how I think cubecraft hit its golden year, like actually like the best year by far. I mean, there's 2020, a lot of stuff happened there too. But you know what? I think that 2021 stuck to me a lot more because you know a lot of stuff happened, and I remember how it was. It was the most fun time of these players' lives. So yeah, there's that. There's the Circuit Clan v Clan, and then what else happened? Um, yeah, there's not much else I could say, but those were two major things that I remember had it happened. Uh, Circuit and the new knockback. Those were the highlights of the year, basically. So, what else? What else happened in 2021? I can't remember. Like, yeah, there's those two. And what happens? What else happened in fall? Well, I guess Circuit continued to be like a competitive league, but this time they made it 4v4s now instead of Egg Wars Mega 10v10s because you know it took so much time to organize an Egg Wars Mega scrim or a competition, and I'm god damn it. No water. Okay. So those were a few things that happened. Egg Wars Mega 10v10, and then Egg Wars 4v4s. We would usually call these scrims because, you know, scrimmage short for scrimmage, and scrimmage means like practice tournament, friendly tournament, friendly, no, not tournament, but friendly competition. That's what a scrim was. So yeah, the scrim concept was one. And then yeah, and then there's the controller community that I was involved in. It was called the cubecraft controller gang. Some of you controller players might know what I'm talking about. Maybe if those controller players who remember me, obviously. So there's that. There's a controller community only for controller players, because you know controller players were a minority. They always were a minority. Because you know it's usually the keyboard and mouse players that you know steal the show. But you know what? Controller players actually kick ass. I'm not gonna lie. I've fought many controller players before that were like some of the best you have ever seen. You guys remember Kenny Windows 10? Or no, that's not what I call him. I call him, well, many people call him Kenny or Bisco. Bisco Wisco, or yeah. That was his old name. Bisco Wisco. And he changed his name to Sad Street Ken and then Kenny W10. You might know him, you might not, but he was, oh, that guy was something else. He wasn't the flashiest player, I think, but you know, he had game sense. He knew how to play. He was a very smart player. That's why he got into. That's why he won. He actually won the Circuit Season 1. Yeah, that's why he won Season 1 in Circuit. In the Kinetic clan. So the Kinetic was like basically that one, Turtle 2, Lima, Kenny, Swift Xbox, among other people. But yeah, I'm actually so cooked. Hold on. Yeah, I locked in for a bit there. God, well, I have to sweat all the time. I'm tired, guys. Anyway, so yeah, Kenny W10. He, like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I basically played based on his gameplay. Like, you know, I tried to model his gameplay a bit. You know, like play smart, not hard kind of mindset. That's how he played. Play smart, not hard. So I'm cooked. No, get out, get out, get out. I don't want to die yet. Oh, sick. Okay, I don't know how I clutched that. But yeah. Kenny W10. That was him. Another person who I admired and also changed up how I play based on how he plays. I think most of you guys know him. Game Night 888, Game Night 888, Transparental Nightshade. He had so many names too, like Kenny W10. But yeah, Game Night. He was by far the best Skywars player according to a lot of people. You know, he's like what? He was on the first place for I think around 5 years. No, not 5, sorry. 4 years until Indian MVG took over him, like, just not too long ago. So, yeah, I also modeled my gameplay based on how he played. That's why I play Skywars. It's because of him. So, let me focus for a sec here. Oh, God. Oh, oh. Is he gonna E-Pro again? Oh, never mind. He wasn't able to get away. Okay. So yeah. And there's a lot of other people too who I admired, you know, because they were the best of the best of the best of the best. Related Noobs is one of them. Now I wasn't able to interact with him the same way I interacted with Game Night, Kenny, Gus Duck, or even X Clutch. Yeah. Sorry for cloud chasing a bit here, but yeah, I was actually friends with quite a lot of them. Not all of them, but you know, I knew some of them. And I learned a lot from them too. X clutching was insane. That's what I know. And seems like we are playing against someone else. That's why I'm here. I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah. So there's still quite a lot of people who I admired too during that time. And most of them are retired now. They don't play cubecraft anymore. So they might feel irrelevant. You might not know what I'm talking about. But you will once you dig in a bit about cubecraft's history. And yeah, they were the big names. They were the shit. They ran the server when I was young. So yeah, 2022. Not a lot happened. I mean, a lot less happened in 2022 because that's when I started to settle down a bit and you know start playing less cubecraft because I had other priorities too, like school. And the server was just getting a bit stale in 2022, although I had a lot of memories in 2022 too. And not gonna tell you much about it because they're not as important, or you know, I always want to keep stuff in private. But one thing's for sure, 2022 was also pretty significant. But you know, no, like I don't think any other year can defeat 2020 or 2021, especially 2021, because that was peak CubeCraft. That was when CubeCraft was at its peak, was at its best state. So yeah, 2022 I'm not gonna go much. That was actually when I started playing less CubeCraft. Because again, I had other priorities. 2023 I stopped. Like I don't remember playing a lot of cubecraft in 2023. If I do play cubecraft, and if I did play cubecraft in 2023, that would be with my IRL friends, my friends from high school. And then, oh god, oh wow, I did not expect that. I'm a bit tired. But anyway, 2023. I stopped for a bit because I'm busy. I'm busy. So, and a year later, 2024, that's when I actually came back in the summer of 2024. Because you know what? Why not? I mean, the server stuck to me for a while, and you know what? I want to relive my childhood memories, kind of. So that's why I came back in just half a year ago. So, yeah. And here we are now, in the present day, 2025. One thing's for sure that a lot of things changed. First, let's talk about how I changed. Well, I was immature. I was toxic. And, you know, I was just that typical teenager who basically don't know what he was saying. You know, because I just wanted to bully people just for the sake of hype. You know, I used to like troll Lost Brains Discord server. I trolled people there. I don't think they really liked what I did. You know what? I understand. Because even now, I don't know what I did too. And whatever I did, I didn't like it too. Because, you know, I was immature. Looking now, as a young adult, all of it is silly. Whatever I did. When cubecraft was at its peak time, everything I did was just, well, I can just like laugh this off, you know. Because again, I think, you know, my toxicity, or you know, just me being unhinged in general, I think it was all part of the good memories, you know. I think it was all part of it. So yeah. Now, I don't know what else to say other than that this server changed my life. It really did. Because I had no one to talk to in 2020. We were all locked down. We were all forced to stay in our homes, not go outside because you'll get coronavirus. Oh god. No, 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 no. Don't die, please. Anyway. I'm tired. So anyway. That's a little bit about how I started cubecraft. I know there's a lot more for me to explain. I could say a lot more, but that's just the highlights. That's just what I think is important. I might have forgotten things too, so let me know what I forgot. But yeah, I just told you off based on what I remember. So yeah.